A long time ago, I did my initial review of the InnoTab 1. This is the same InnoTab 1, still works. It's seen better days, has problems like the door didn't stay shut, the stand's long gone, but it does still work and it still gets played. Since the InnoTab 1 review, I started moving on to the InnoTab 2, the InnoTab 3, the 3S, and even the LeapPad 2. And I was kind of against the LeapPad 2 simply because the features aren't there. The games are probably better than the InnoTab games, but you know, those features of like the custom videos on here and your custom movies and, you know, free MP3 player on that comes with the InnoTab, it was just hard to recommend our LeapPad 2. Since then, I've moved on and bought my kids these knobby tablets. The reason they got these knobby tablets is that they are basically just Android tablets, 7-inch Android tablets, and they are awesome. My kids love them. We take them with us everywhere we go, and they don't play our phones nearly as much when these are charged. On a side note, this is my Asus tablet, and my kids' knobby's faster than this, and this is my good one that I paid way more money for. How dumb. That brings us to today. Vtech has announced that they're releasing an InnoTab Max. Now, an InnoTab Max, at first I thought, oh great, another InnoTab, you know, that's not going to be a big competitor. However, this InnoTab is actually based on Android. Anyway, I'm so glad to see that Vtech has moved on to the Android-based OS, because along with all their games, you can also get every Android game. You know, hopefully they'll open up the Play Store eventually. But this isn't even released yet. This is going to be released in October 2014. The LeapPad competitor to this is the LeapPad 3. The LeapPad 3 has already been released. Now, I don't understand why LeapPad or LeapFrog, the company, would want to release a new generation with a smaller screen. This is a 5-inch screen they put on this thing. Why would they go to 5-inch when the old one is 7? I've never heard a kid say, this screen is way too big, please give me a smaller one. The other thing is so silly. This is a 480 by 272 resolution, which doesn't seem like, I don't know, most people probably didn't know what that means, but it's pretty low resolution. Your Android phone and your iPhone even are probably 3 or 4 times better than that. The LeapPad, the InnoTab Max that's coming out, it's a 7-inch screen instead of 5-inch. It's 1024 by 600 instead of 480 by 272. The other thing I don't understand, why would they release this with only 4 gig of memory? They got a camera in here that can record videos and pictures, but they only give you 4 gig of memory. I'm like, why? You can get 4 gig memory sticks for almost nothing on the internet nowadays. At least the InnoTab Max comes with 8 gig of memory, so you can record stuff. And they also give you the expandable memory with the micro SD card, up to a 32 gig one. The LeapPad, immediately when you buy your LeapPad 3, there are 1,000 games that you can download for the LeapPad 3 that will work. The InnoTab Max here, it only has like 650, but because it's Android based, they also allow your kids to download like 200 Android games. And like I said, maybe if you can get the Google Play Store onto it, then you would have access to all the games. Vtech hasn't actually released what games are actually available for it yet, but they did say, you know, they're compatible. The LeapPad 3 comes with a built-in rechargeable battery. It's not replaceable like the old ones were, so if you're thinking you're going to walk out the door and just swap the rechargeable batteries for some other ones you had charging, no, you can't do that. You'll have to use the AC adapter and charge it before you leave, or get some kind of car adapter that can charge it from your car battery. It baffles me why LeapFrog intentionally releases these tablets that are not up to spec with its competitors. This has a 1-core processor, whereas the InnoTab Max that's coming out in October has what they're calling a multi-core, which usually means more than 2, because if it was 2, it'd be called a dual core. But it's probably because Android apps nowadays need multiple cores to run smoothly. And the LeapPad 3, seeing as how it's still probably based on their own LeapPad OS that they run, it doesn't need the faster processors. The LeapPad did do one thing good. They made it so that if you actually have 2 LeapPads, you can play games against each other in a cooperative kind of play. The other thing is all the LeapPad games are available via full downloads from their website. Now that doesn't seem like such a good idea initially, because you want to download a game instead of buying it, that means that you can't resell it. But then again, you think about how many of your games have you actually resold? You've probably just given them away to other people who have LeapPads or traded with them. The nice thing about downloading it is that you can actually download the game to up to 3 LeapPads, or yeah, 3 LeapPads. And so if you have 3 kids and 3 LeapPads, you can buy the game once and they can all 3 play it at the same time, which would be really nice. I'm not 100% certain whether or not the InnoTab offers the full downloaded games. We've been buying all ours in the store, so because we do have 3 of them though, so we should probably start thinking about buying them online if their full versions are out there instead. Another thing I talked about in my other video was the lack of the MP3 player on here. You had to pay $5 to get the MP3 player app. Now I don't have a LeapPad 3 yet, so I can't tell you for sure if you have to or not, but the InnoTab Max says that it actually comes with a video player and an MP3 player built in. And because you have access to the SD card slot on the back, you could probably add all the MP3s you wanted to. Again, over here on the LeapPad 3, for some reason, LeapFrog thought, oh, 4 gig is enough. If you load this up with MP3s, you're not going to have any room left for apps. However, I don't even see any mention in here about loading your own MP3s onto this, so I don't even think that's even really possible. It wasn't on the LeapPad 2. The only way you could get video or audio onto it was to use the camera and just record it yourself. In conclusion, this is the LeapPad 3. This is the InnoTab Max. It's a big competitor coming out in October. And the InnoTab Max, since it's stepping up to an Android OS, it's going to compete more with the Nabi instead of competing with the LeapPad 3 so much. Because Android tablets are almost in a different realm, all of their own, simply because they have access to the Google Play Store. Anyway, if you're thinking about buying one, I'd say wait a little bit of time and wait till you can go look at this InnoTab Max out in the store before buying a LeapPad 3. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section. I'll try to respond to them or answer them as best I can. If you have any contrary opinions, please share those too. My opinions aren't always the right ones, as my wife will attest to. And thanks for watching.